Salutations, how's everybody doing? So, it hasn't been too long, but, it's time to talk back at more episodes of, the revival of Doctor Who. In this case, we're looking at the first episode that would give us back an enemy that we always love, the Dalek. In the episode, the Dalek. Before we talk about it, I have to ask a question. We are for you. So, what actually happened in this episode? Well, the episode is set in Utah in the year 2012 in the underground bunker owned by Henry Van Staten, a rich collector of alien artifacts. In the episode, the alien time traveler, the Doctor, and his traveling companion Rose Tower encounter the bunker's only living exhibit, a Dalek, which breaks loose and attempts to exterminate everyone in the bunker after repairing itself. And this would also be the introduction of a companion that will continue with the crew, in this case, Adam Mitchell. Having not been a while since I've seen this episode, I thought this was actually not bad. In that, we have, since this is the first episode that would deal with the Daleks for a, brand new generation of the show, I thought it was pretty great how, both, old and at the same time very metallic, almost what would be the word? Not Orwellian. Almost very golden color, adventure is how it looks. The author to, Journey to the Center of Ours, it almost looks like that, looks that would...
I've come to help. I'm the Doctor. Impossible.
The Doctor! Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
And I gotta say, especially in this episode, this is the most angriest, and since this was also the second time in which the Doctor talked about, hey, the Time War, how it basically ravaged Gallifrey, and how it basically, it was the Daleks versus the, Time Lords, and how basically they were both taken out. And I kind of like that idea. I kind of say, hey, we're talking about a race that have been at each other's throats. And especially one thing that I think is pretty cool is that the Dalek is kind of rather intelligent in this episode, like a one-man army. In that, at one point, basically, when it's first, when it's, starts to go insane, and it basically, one of them goes, oh, what should you do, suck me to death?
What the hell have you done?
What you gonna do? Sucker me to death?
And I do find out how, it does exactly that. Because, this episode has some pretty great kills when it comes to the use of the Dalek. Because, there's always been, the idea for the character. So, whether it is, say, it's shooting, a laser blast at some water, electrocuting folks. That's honestly pretty cool. And one thing that I will say, the character of Henry Van Staten, even though this episode came out in 2005, the idea of, a rich collector collecting things and all that, alien artifacts, it still feels very prevalent. You could, replace this character, with, point it to have, any, rich individual at any time, and you'd say, yep, that sounds about right.
I thought you were the great expert, Doctor. If you're so impressive, then why not just reason with this Dalek? It must be willing to negotiate. There must be something it needs. Everything needs something.
What's the nearest town?
Salt Lake City.
Population?
1 million.
All dead. If the Dalek gets out, it'll murder every living creature. That's all it needs.
But why would it do that?
Because it honestly believes they should die. Human beings are different, and anything different is wrong. It's the ultimate in racial cleansing. And you, Van Staten, you've let it loose!
You'd see any person who might have a lot of money trying to do that. And it's also the most previous time in which we see the inside of the Dalek's casing. So that's honestly pretty cool. I think the thing that makes this episode pretty interesting is because we have a lot of dramatic elements in which the Doctor is like saying, hey, I don't like the Daleks. It's basically he is having a bit of PTSD the entire episode, and the Dalek is basically the one is bringing it about. I know it's like almost like both of them are having survivors and at the same time soldiers, like PTSD between each other. The Doctor, because he is willing to say, okay, he's trying to fix what he deemed as something that really messed up his past. And yeah, I thought this was a really good way to reintroduce the Dalek basically to a new audience, especially in that Rose gives it a bit of emotion. And yeah, this is honestly pretty cool. And yeah, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I thought it was a fairly good episode. But yeah, what's your thoughts? See you next time, though.